Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Well, good morning and welcome to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk. How you doing? Wow, this harsh light. This over we got like a brand new light bulb in the light here in the bunker, if you will. I should be wearing an aluminum foil hat or something. I think we should really actually be doing, instead of doing a fabulous sports show that tells people how to bet DFS or bet or have or work their fantasy drafts, which, by the way, I can't wait. What have we got, about 7 more months till the draft? And
yeah, but 20 days to baseball.
20 days till baseball. I know you're always about the baseball, but yeah, welcome to the Gonzo Radio Sports Desk, man. I feel like I should be giving away the secret plans or whatever there are 4 lights for you Star Trek nerds out there. It's Championship Sunday. It's championship. Would you say this is the third most important day in the NFL calendar? The third most.
No.
Sorry about that.
Hey, who are you?
Yeah, no, the camera didn't want to cooperate. So go ahead.
Hey,
you were saying now?
Yeah, Super Bowl's number 1, clearly, right?
Of course. Right.
Number 2 is
opening day.
Yeah, first week of the just the anticipation, the excitement. But in
Of
terms
course.
of value, no, I'm not going to put opening day there. I'm going to put certainly. Wild card weekend, I guess they've claimed it now to be, where they have like 6 different playoff games. It's excited. You got there and
it's entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to rank them. I mean, for fantasy purposes, every week's important. And by the way, I understated baseball. 13 days.
13 days till pitchers and catchers report.
12 hours.
Which one are you?
57 minutes, 38.
Are you a pitcher or a catcher?
37. I was a pitcher.
You were a pitcher.
I was a pitcher. Never a catcher.
I'm not a catcher.
No,
no matter how. I mean, I know I'm wide and I get hair. Nope.
Yeah. So, by the
I
way,
don't squat for that long.
Just more quick news. The Cowboys for 2025 have missed the playoffs again for their 28th straight year. Yeah. I mean, we'll get into maybe some of the coaching hirings, but at least they went and got somebody that nobody was looking for.
I can't keep a straight face.
Yeah. Brian Schottenheimer, in name, you'll recognize that Schottenheimer.
No, listen, Shotzi's a good offensive coordinator. He's a good coach.
No, he's a great
coach. He's good.
But
he's a legacy. You got to take him.
The problem is the Cowboys once again went for comfort in the building, guys they trust. The Cowboys needed to take a big swing, and they did not take a big swing on this. And again, we'll get there. We'll talk
listen,
about
you know how I know that most NFL owners haven't got it figured out? Even Jerry Jones, they haven't got it figured out. You know how I can tell that they haven't got it figured out? Because a guy like Robert Saleh, okay, that guy is a good coach. I saw him coaching his first year with the Jets. You saw a 180 for that team. The year before, that team was in disarray, absolute Mongolian clusterfuck. Okay, and his first year, what were they? They were 7-9. This is back in the 16. We still had a 16-game season. They were 7-9. They went from like 2-14 to 7-9. Okay, that guy's got to get some credit for that. Okay, and that team didn't make a lot of mistakes. That team lost a lot of heartbreakers. That team had Zach Wilson for a starting quarterback, a completely confused and disoriented rookie. All right, but they finished well and they played well. And the following year, they played well. They had injuries, but they played well. And then they had to screw around and go get Aaron Rodgers, and that was the beginning of the end. Okay, but that guy ended up having to go back. Robert Saleh ended up going back to San Francisco, back to his old job. Okay, and he even got Shanahan to say, okay, you're the head coach of the defense. You're not just a defensive coordinator. You're going to hire your position coaches. You're going to hire your quality control people. We're going to give you that side of the ball. I'll be over here managing the clock and the offense and the special teams. I don't even want to talk about. I'm gonna be able to in the meeting. But hey, Robin, how's it going, Rob? It's good. Really? Okay. You can tell me later. You bet. That's it. That guy, when he gets another chance to be a head coach, you're going to see some greatness there.
Yeah, he'll get hired again. I mean, the NFL usually recycles at least once or twice some of these coaches, but he'll deserve to get that chance.
Except for Josh McDaniel, he's
sure.
never going to be a good head coach.
Yeah. So, but we'll get to some of these coaching, obviously hires. There's been a bunch, but first. I mean, there's a couple of big games today. I mean, you
want to get to the matchups.
Well, your original question was, in terms of ranking the importance of these games. Today's two games, I think, are pretty friggin' important. So,
the defending Super Bowl champions 2 times in a row, 3 in the last 4 years, Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills, who have now gotten to that point like they were in the 90s where now they're managing to stack up 3 and 4 championship games in a row, but not making it to the Super Bowl. Thank you for not wasting our time. Yes, that's real. Right there,
wow.
right there. It's just all you have to see right there.
I'll bring some sensibility to this discussion here in a moment.
Just hate, bile. I am a Sith. If I go to the city of Buffalo, they're going to feel a disturbance in the force. Okay. That being said, tons of respect and love for the Bills Mafia, what they did for Mark Andrews and his charity last week, because, Mark Andrews had a bad day at the office, and quite frankly, that's the reason why the Ravens aren't in Kansas City right now. Okay? Mark Davis had a tough day at the office. I mean,
he did.
Pivotal fumble.
But again, you can't just
and drop the 2-point conversion to tie the game.
Bills would have got the ball back.
Yeah. I understand
minute and a
that.
half. It's Josh Allen. There's no guarantee the Ravens even win that game with the tie. So I get it.
And people like to say, yeah, that's sarcastic donation. Like, a donation's a donation. What are you, an idiot?
Yeah.
Donations aren't. Listen. Donations on the level of charities, like Mark Andrews' charity is for people trying to live with type 1 diabetes, okay, which I've been on the borderline of type 2. Trust me, it's not fun.
It's very simple.
Donations
are meant for the benefactor.
Exactly.
It's not meant.
Exactly. So their generosity was amazing.
Only one side.
Yeah, their generosity was amazing, and they've done this several times before. So kudos to them, and they are great fans, and they are rabid. And honestly, I love to hate Josh Allen because I just marvel at every time that he plays, especially in the biggest spots. And I think he's going to have a big game in this game, both running and throwing. But hope you lose.
Well, let's talk about this game. It is a late game, but certainly
I'll be awake.
It's going to be a good one.
My hate will keep me warm.
What I shy away from, we briefly talked about this before we went on, was the narrative. Okay, because we
Taylor Swift?
Because we control, or first of all, we create the narrative, and then we do everything we possibly can to control the narrative. So
I am going to get you to crack today. You are going to laugh.
All right. Well, the narrative for this game clearly is on the back of Travis Kelce's last week performance. And right away when Kelce blew up last week, went for 8 for something, 140.
Like 140 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Monster game. And of course, everybody's like, well, where was that during the regular season? And they're like, well, no, he was saving it for the playoffs. And I get all that narrative.
Playoff Travis. Okay. Say it. Playoff
Travis.
Playoff Travis. Exactly.
Travis. Do me a favor today and bet every under you can on Travis Kelce.
Ooh, yeah, I'm feeling some hate across the desk. I can't do that very much. I didn't do tries this week, so I can't do that very much.
What I'm saying is that if we follow a narrative that's been creative, that's been created instead of just allowing to look at what actually happened and then maybe build a narrative and not just assume, be lazy and be like, oh, it's playoff Kelce and all these different things.
Travis,
you just
Travis,
assume,
say it right.
Because the calendar moved forward another week or two, that all of a sudden you're going to get the same 37-year-old Travis Kelce that is now a week further in his career to be able to play and give you the statistics that he gave you like that on a week-to-week basis just because it's playoff time. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. Now, that being said, that's only my take on Travis Kelce. The Chiefs are in the position that we knew they would be. We know the whole story about how they won every close game this year and about how they won it under every different circumstance.
5 of the last 6 AFC championships. This is their 4th in a row.
I get it, and it's well-deserved. When you have the best combination of quarterback and coach.
System.
Best
culture.
Working within the best system and also the best culture. All included. What that means essentially is that you have the recipe for success. It's the blueprint.
People in Kansas City are really nice too.
The Chiefs obviously have that blueprint. It's theirs. Everybody's chasing the Chiefs. But like anything in life, everything eventually comes to an end. And in order for the Chiefs to win this game, I feel, because I think on paper, the Buffalo Bills are a better team. They're playing the best football that they've ever played as an organization. Josh Allen, to me, even though he's going against Lamar Jackson in this next argument, Patrick Mahomes, is physically the best quarterback in the league. Can do any of the things any of the other guys do, and he does it better. He's got a stronger arm than Mahomes and creates more than, I feel, Lamar Jackson with his legs. Now, only from a physicality perspective. I'm not saying that Josh Allen is necessarily going to break 160 yards off tackle and you're not going to catch him. But I'm just saying overall, in terms of preparing for Josh Allen, you have to prepare for him on a multitude of high levels. Whereas on some of the other guys, maybe you can kind of chip away at certain parts of their game.
He's a freak.
Different animal completely. Okay, that being said. I think
if Cam Newton had a 65% completion percentage and made good decisions, which we saw his first couple of years, he made some atrocious decisions, and Buffalo wasn't going anywhere with that. But once they got him a guy like a Brian Daboll to help him straighten out his mechanics, straighten out his mentality, then all of a sudden, he started with the 63, 64, 65% completion percentage, and Buffalo ended up in 4 championship games in a row. So that's the key, period. Okay? You want a comparison, he's Cam Newton without the funny hat.
It's comes down to turnovers like every game does. Every analytical breakdown in every NFL game will tell you that if you win the turnover margin, 72, 74% of it, whatever it is, you win the game. Okay.
Ask Baltimore.
Josh Allen this year has played the best at that position regarding turnovers. He hasn't been turning the ball over at all.
You know how many turnovers the team has for the year for the Buffalo Bills?
I think it's like 7 or 8, something like that, isn't it?
8.
8, okay.
8.
Buffalo Bills
now,
don't
if you were reading the group page today, you would know because I dropped that.
Well, I knew in my mind because I can remember 6 of the turnovers.
What do you got, a life?
So they don't turn the ball over.
No.
And not like the Chiefs turn the ball over either, but the Buffalo Bills just don't turn the ball over.
No.
This game, I feel, is going to come down to execution and, again, removing the whole Kelce narrative, assumption narrative that because it's, this time of year and, every week he's good for 8 and $140 and 2. I just don't see it. Who else is going to have to be the guy right now offensively for Kansas City that's going to make the difference? Now, they went out and got players. Okay, you haven't really been hearing them too much. You haven't really heard of Hopkins. I mean, obviously you know what kind of player he is. Very good player. Hollywood Brown is back and healthy now. Okay. Obviously, you had Worthy there all year, who they've sort of kind of carved out a specific role for him, right? High energy guy, can break anyone at any point, that sort of guy. Definitely
I will break you.
Plays for him. And quietly on the running side, Pacheco, again, they've had Hunt when Pacheco's been hurt, and Hunt's been serviceable. He's, obviously a volume guy, too, that can handle the load. So at this point, offensively, the Chiefs are as healthy as they have been offensively, right? Everything is, all their ammunition is right here.
Right. Well,
it's in the holster.
Here's a good one for you. Okay. It's a little parlay that I put together over here on Hard Rock Bets. Of course, it's the Bills to win. Take that money line. Okay. James Cook, anytime touchdown. He has been a short yardage monster this year.
He has 17 coming into this game.
Right, with like
11
11 of them from under 5 yards.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh Allen rushing yards. He's been averaging 55 a game for the last 6 games. He knows he's got to run. And our boy DeAndre Hopkins that we just mentioned, who by the way I believe he also has a 2.5 reception line. So I would take that over. 3 catches for 30 yards, maybe a touchdown in the red zone because that's what he's been a specialist at. Because he knows how to do what? Get open, find the soft spots. And then Josh Allen throwing an interception. But they're still going to win. I'm just, that parlay speaks to that. That's what I would call my hedge.
It's interesting.
So,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. That's my hedge.
I mean, we just talked about the fact that the Buffalo Bills don't turn the ball over.
Nope.
And we're pushing that narrative, and you have a Josh Allen interception. I mean, again, if you look at regression, things do regress to the means, and I guess eventually he's going to have to throw one. Yeah, I mean, these sorts of bets are definitely shots.
But a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, this is his stage.
This is
the time.
I would believe more of that side of it for a guy that you're saving for the playoffs, or another weapon that maybe you haven't yet disclosed that you still have at your disposal. And
like
Hopkins is that kind of guy.
Xavier Worthy, possibly.
Well, any of these guys. So
Xavier Worthy taking an end around for 15 or 20 yards. Look at that rushing yardage, 2.5 yards.
It basically comes down to 1 carry.
And then, of course,
yards.
you don't think that Travis Kelce's going to do very well, but I think that he's going to manage to find the end zone. And there's D-Hop with 2.5 catches. I took the over on that.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get 3 or 4. He's got to.
Kelce keeps the narrative going by getting in the end zone in a game like this.
Yeah.
And I do believe that.
And more Taylor Swift shots, of course.
Possibly. Because this is, but again, don't be surprised if you get this sort of Kelce game. You get 4 for 39 in a touchdown. And and that touchdown's super important.
Take that under.
Maybe it's even a game winner, but I'm telling you.
And I'm going to get a text message.
Under receptions, under yards, go under and everything for Kelce, especially yards. Just go under it because they are not. The Buffalo Bills are not going to let Kelce catch 8 balls for 140 yards today. It's just not going to happen. I'm telling you, it's again end zone. Yeah, I mean it sounds great. Get 4 for 38 and a touchdown.
Well, the bad news for that is that the Buffalo Bills standout strong safety, I believe Taylor Rapp, will not be playing today. Could not go. Tried to go. It's championship Sunday, and he's a tough guy, but he must really be hurt because he can't go. So they're starting a rookie. I don't have notes on the rookie, but they're starting a rookie at the safety spot. And who usually gets the responsibility to step up and cover Travis Kelce? I'm just saying.
Under.
I'm just saying.
Everything's under.
Oh, okay. Would you like to put? Oh, I don't know. I'll bet you $10 on the over. What's the line? 38.5
for who? Kelce's yardage?
Yeah,
it's more than that.
Oh,
I'm sure they're offering it at maybe like my guess. I haven't looked, but this is how good I am. They have his yardage somewhere in the 60s, probably like 67 or 68. That would be my guess. So let's take a look if you don't mind. If you want to cover some free air,
I'll cover for you.
Thank you.
I'll dance.
Don't dance. Whatever you do, don't effing dance.
We are going to get into our respective favorite teams later on as well.
Well, who do you think is going to win the game outright?
The Dolphins and the Steelers have been a mess, and we're gonna get it off our chest for that too. But
put your hatred aside.
Why?
And pick a team.
Why?
Tell me who's going to win.
I'm Team Sith. I'm the guy with the red lightsabers.
I'm so good.
What? 59.5?
No. What I said, he's probably in the high 60s. I'm going to say 68.5 yards.
Yeah.
It's at 70.5 yards. That's Kelce's.
70.5.
And I'm going to even go this far because this is, again, how good I am.
I don't know. I would take that under, too.
I think that line probably opened at 68.5, which is what I said. And probably people are chasing the narrative and going the over. You better go under this 70.5 today.
Travis.
Yeah, under. Lock it in.
Well, I can. Okay.
And by the way, my boys are watching. They went over hell and high water to find us, and they did. I think they got us on Twitch. So
Twitch or YouTube?
No, they're on
or...
Twitch. Chaz and Mike are watching.
Oh, well, welcome to Twitch.
Hey. So, yeah.
Are they gamers? They're gamers, I guess.
I think so.
It's a gamer site. It's a gamer platform.
I'm not sure.
Have no fear. I'm going to be integrating Zoom very soon, and we're going to have a whole big clusterfuck of people all over this talking all kinds of mess.
Yeah, speaking of gamers, I played a lot of Madden for many years with Mike, and we should just probably make it easier for him and just give him simple instructions, and he'll be able to get us on. So
yeah,
just kidding. You suck at offense, and you can't call me back right now. Not yet, at least.
Well, here's what's funny is that I've had a few friends that did get into Madden back in the day. We're talking about they hadn't picked up a controller in 10 years. And a friend of mine just went off and bought a PS5 and got the latest edition of Madden. And he's just like,
oh, it's insanity.
It's
I'm afraid to go back into that
season
world.
mode.
I know, franchise.
Build your own franchise.
This is a true story. 98, Mike's listening. Madden 98 was the best game ever created. Matter of fact, I think I had to buy a second.
I played it.
I think I had to buy a second one because I wore out the first one. And it was all about franchise mode. It was all about picking your teams, building the dynasties, and then for a while, like he ran the offense, I ran the defense. Like we would play the same, draft the same, whatever. And it was just a few years of just Madden control, and it was a lot of fun. So good memories here, buddy.
Well, the crazy part,
you weren't very good.
Dude, the craziest part is that you are now integrated into a worldwide network. So some 11-year-old kid in India
is whooping your
is
ass.
just wearing you the fuck out.
And he's picking some retro team with Adrian Peterson. He's just like Peterson right, Peterson
and it
left.
happens with the basketball games too.
Like,
the basketball games are ridiculous. They hoop it up. I mean, like the whole world is hooping.
Yeah, it's
online.
a big deal.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the gaming industry is just massive. So all right.
So welcome to Twitch.
Hey. So yeah, thanks guys. So back to my bragging. 70 and a half for Kelsey.
Okay, I'll agree with that under.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that, but it's still going to be in the low 60s.
He has the highest yardage, total yardage receiving prop of the game.
Playoff Travis.
Kelsey, goodbye with that garbage. Anyway, all right, so let's pick some winners from this particular game because we didn't really get into who we think is going to win. The line is 2. Vegas is telling you the line is 2. That means that they're flipping a coin here, talent-wise, right?
And I'm not touching it. I'm talking money line.
KC is in the perfect spot again. They're in the perfect spot again. Home field throughout.
To beat a man, you got to beat the man.
And I always say that, and it's such a tough decision. Can I tell you that I'm rooting for Buffalo? So unlike you, who I know will never root for Buffalo, I'm rooting for Buffalo. I'm rooting not for the underdog because I don't think Buffalo deserves to be called the underdog because they're, I think, just as good as the Chiefs are. But like you said, until you get there, unless you are the man, you're not the man. Tonight, Buffalo Bills take that step closer. I think they go in there and they beat them. I think it's a really, really good football game. And if I can kind of paint the picture of saying how it's going to happen, I want to see
the narrative. You could say narrative.
A narrative. I want it because I was against narrative earlier. Now I'm trying to create
it's the
one.
N-word with you. You say narrative like it's a bad thing.
But I'm being hypocritical because now I'm trying to create one. So here's my narrative. My narrative is that I just want to see that 2 minutes left, drama story. Chiefs have just taken the lead. Maybe it's a Kelsey touchdown. I don't care. And Buffalo's got the ball, and they've got to go to the field in that stadium under those conditions.
Can they do it in 17 seconds?
Well, give me a reasonable situation, okay? That way you can fairly judge it when it's over. That way you can say, damn it, I thought he was going to be able to drive the field.
17 seconds he did it.
Give him whatever it is, a minute and a half. You know the story. Minute and a half, 2 timeouts, down by 5, need the touchdown, whatever. And then I want to see Josh Allen just go down that field and score. And that's how I want the Super Bowl to begin. I want that. I want us to chew on that for 2 weeks and then go, wow, maybe this is Buffalo's time. I'm picking Buffalo. I do like the over in this game because I do see that both offenses are going to be pretty successful. Talked about Kansas City being at least as healthy and have everything at their disposal.
All right,
now
we'll keep going. Keep your momentum going here. Tell us about some of your player props. Now you said Kelsey with
Kelsey in the under.
Right. Under for yardage.
Under for yardage.
What about receptions, which I believe is 5?
But you know
I think it's set at 6.5 actually. So
at
under
that number, it probably is, and they're probably juicing the over because everything's narrative is going to be over. So don't really care about that so much as I do care about the yardage because they may still try and get Kelsey the ball, and it may be easier this week to do so. But maybe in shorter yardage situations. So he may have 7 catches for 50 yards. He may not get to the total. So I feel more comfortable about the yardage and the under in that sense. But that being aside, I think the Bills win this game. And I think the total goes over just because, again, both offenses are very good. And
34-31.
You know, just one of these could be a back and forth. I'm hoping. Again, just still amazing the weather. We've only had 1 or 2 games in the entire season, including playoffs, where weather's been a factor. And today, even
2 of them were last week.
Yeah, and even in the Eagles game this afternoon, I mean, there's a little more wind early on, but really both these weather games are not weather games in these climates. So weather's no factor. I think both these games probably lean towards the over. But this first one here, I'm going Bills. I'm going over. I'll throw a score out there. May hopefully gets to the 30s, maybe 31-26, something like that, 31-27. Give me the Bills to...
The line set at 46.5, I believe it is.
48.
48
it's up to right now,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think this is where it ends. I think the march towards the three-peat ends today in KC. What say you?
Nope. So, here's what could happen. I'm not saying that it's a rock-solid lock because, quite frankly, over the last 3 weeks, I've been the mush. I've been mushing the shit out of everybody. Okay, from wild card weekend, from the last week of the season, it's all of a sudden like, I don't know football. So, but that's the nature of playoff football. Okay, up is down, down is up. One player, especially if it's a quarterback, can pick a team up on their back and carry them deep into the playoffs. We've seen it a million times, and it's happening this year. So, the narrative. Back and forth, hammer and tong. You're right. Both teams are going to get into the high 20s, low 30s. Not just the temperatures. But Buffalo's not going to win because the team that wins close games, teams that win hard-fought games, teams that everybody yells and screams about the referees being in their pocket, wins these games, and they've won a lot of them. So it's what they do. I don't go against the mean in this situation. Okay? This isn't 2019, where we're seeing the young, up-and-coming second-year phenom Patrick Mahomes up against the grizzled veteran Tom Brady. It's not 2019. We were all wondering, this is it. This is the end. There's no way that Brady is going to be able to beat this kid. And then 2 years later, he came back and did it again with a different team. So, that being said, it's going the other way. It's going the other way. It's Chiefs late field goal, Chiefs dagger in the heart, lots of Taylor Swift. It's just, that's the way it's going to happen. System. Right now, I think we're in the middle of this empirical run. Okay, this evil empire.
I have a segue for that after you give me your pick. So
okay.
Are you taking KC?
So I'm taking Kansas City.
Okay.
I'm taking the over.
Okay.
I am not. 2 points is so tough, man. It's so tough.
You got to cover it. You picked them, so
I'll take the money line.
Do the math.
I'll take the money line.
Okay.
I will take Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. I will take I will take I'll take Hopkins 2.5 catches. I think he'll get 3. I think he'll get 4.
I like a Hopkins game.
Hopkins 22.5 yards. I think somebody's got to step up. I think Hopkins is the guy to step up.
I like that too.
Okay, I mean, it's 3 catches for 23 yards. Those are easy player props. They're cake. Give me a bunch of rushing yardage for Josh Allen. Give me heroics by Josh Allen. Maybe even an anytime touchdown because he is their short yardage guy, along with their buddy James Cook, who's got like 10 touchdowns of 5 yards or shorter. on the season. But
a lot of picks.
the narrative is still going to be Kansas City.
All right, here's a fun narrative.
Oh, no.
Just a side narrative, too. When you said imperialistic and everything else.
Dun,
The
dun,
homepage
dun, dun, dun.
on my, right now, I don't even know who my provider is who's telling me this, MSN, which is not who I support, news, is telling me two main stories, not even connected, are about how one of them is Troy Aikman's upset about new rule change that favors Patrick Mahomes. Next, NFL accused of sneaky referee move for Chiefs-Bill playoff game. Now, I know that if we say things, if we type things, if we look for things, it becomes a narrative on the screen where you start getting these stories.
It's called an algorithm.
I haven't turned this laptop on in 3 days until just now. And we haven't been discussing any of these things about what I just saw on the screen. So, that being said, what happens if there are situations in today's game where this is clearly being spoken loudly by many different sources about, you're hearing it on Facebook and all these different whatever platforms, the NFL's rigged, the Chiefs are being favored, the referees are in their pockets, and then they're supported with stories and vid clips and messages and sources and all these different things. When things start to gain traction like this, it's very difficult to change the narrative because now people are saying it's this, it's that, without much proof or without just a little bit of proof. What happens today if there's a situation where one of these types of calls determines the outcome of the game? What happens if on a 4th and 7, when the Chiefs are behind in the red zone, and Patrick Mahomes goes to throw a ball and it's not catchable to Kelsey, but yet early in the route he gets a little bit of an arm and it's a penalty flag and it's a first down?
Uh-oh, Jim. There's a late flag.
What happens now in that situation? So, that being said, do the referees come into this game knowing that, being a little bit more careful to not throw that penalty flag, to keep it in their pocket, to not be the one that they now scrutinize as being just another referee in this scandal or another part of this rigged system that they're involved with the Chiefs? Where does this go if that takes place? You know, from a soap opera perspective. I almost kind of want to see it.
All right. Go get this segment brought to you by Reynolds Wrap.
Pretty cool, though.
Making fine hats since 1952.
I'm not writing these stories.
I understand.
I'm
okay?
not creating a
now listen. Let me give you. I'm going to go deep on you here.
Don't go too deep. We got another game to talk about.
You know that the origin of my nickname Gonzo. My real name isn't Gonzo, by the way. My last name isn't Gonzalez. Okay, was my appreciation for Dr. Gonzo, Hunter S. Thompson, a political and social satirist from the 60s and 70s. Excellent writer.
I thought it was a Muppet from the Muppets.
No, and I love the Muppets.
Oh, okay.
You have no idea when the Gonzo Muppet came out, I was like, oh my God, they made a Muppet about. Well, I'm not purple and my nose isn't bent. Yeah. But anyway,
that being said,
he drew a correlation between sports and politics in the 60s, in the late 60s when he was covering Richard Nixon. Okay, there's a famous interview that he managed to score. He managed to get in the presidential limo to talk to and interview Richard Nixon between stops, made himself available because he wanted to get FaceTime with this guy. And we're talking about a guy who had been ripping him in Rolling Stone magazine for months since he became president. He's the guy that originally called him Richard Milhouse Nixon is so crooked he needs 2 Secret Service agents just to help him screw on his pants in the morning. That's poetry. Okay, but the narrative, what you're seeing now with this conspiracy theory about the NFL being in the bag for the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? I listen, there's 2 guys that do the color or do the side work on The Joe on 560 WQAM, okay, our AM sports talk radio. One is former Cleveland Brown, Minnesota Viking, and Michigan Wolverine Leroy Horde, okay? Really, really smart. Lots of great perspectives. And then there's Shannon Crowder, former Miami Dolphin linebacker. Okay, both of them, and Crowder's been getting a lot of national press. He's been doing a lot of big podcasts, national stuff. Okay, they have both come up with pretty much the same angle. Boom. Tomorrow, you're the owner of an NFL franchise. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's the Cowboys. I don't care if it's the Packers. Okay, you are the owner. You are the chairman. You are whatever it is. You're in control. You are the face of the place. Okay, whether it's the Miami Dolphins, whether it's Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, there are 32 principal guys in charge of each franchise. Okay, you're all in your own little way competitive.
31, except for the Packers.
Except for the Packers.
They're owned
Okay.
by, they're owned by the city.
Well, I'm sure there's a guy that takes turn. It's Marjorie next month.
Yes.
Marjorie gets an off season.
Marge, get in here.
Marge, get in there. You're in charge.
February.
Yeah. Well, wait. Helen does the draft. So
That's funny.
the point. Helen from Poughkeepsie. So their point was this: you have a lot of skin in the game. You are just as competitive as Lamar Hunt, the whole entire Hunt family in Kansas City. Okay, you are as competitive as any owner in the league, whether it's Jerry Jones, senile, or whomever. Okay, you're not going to capitulate, and if there's a problem, you're going to make the phone call. You're going to Roger, you see something wrong. Roger, what the fuck? Okay, or you'll send an email. Roger, what the fuck? Or you send him a text message. Roger, what the fuck? Okay, I'm sure that when stuff like that happens where there is a questionable call, okay, Roger Goodell doesn't even have his phone on him. It's in a secured locker away from his suite. He doesn't even want to look at his phone. Why? Because if something shady happens, you're going to have 55 calls or 55 text messages. You know, Roger, what the fuck? Roger, what the fuck? They're all going to be Roger, what the fuck? Okay, that's not the deal. Okay, sure, you have certain referees and officials that have a personality that is, or a philosophy, if you will, a philosophical bent that is conducive to what has happened, or has just coincidentally come down in critical moments for the Kansas City Chiefs. Sorry, shit like that happens.
So what you're saying then is
no chance whatsoever.
So what you're saying,
and it's the same as politics.
Okay, so yeah, then it's definitely a bunch of crock if it's the same as politics. Then you're saying there's no chance that whoever is responsible for relaying messages from the NFL up here to the head of the referee association, which is down here, and then who is responsible for that pregame meeting for a game of this magnitude, which is obviously a step into the biggest game of the NFL, the Super Bowl. You're saying that there's not a chain of command of direction, of communication, of anything to keep that line tight, secure, in check, all the way to the top. I believe that's in place in every game, just because of the structure, the importance of everything that the NFL represents. Certainly they want to be represented as being accurate and, you know, on the level and all these other things. So I would imagine that every particular I is dotted and every T is crossed. So that infrastructure in place would allow you then to control everything that's being done within that structure, okay? Because they are the NFL. They do control a lot, have a lot of power. They are closely related with, if not directly related
There's
with,
an NFL Illuminati. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm just saying, if this is my next parallel, money. Not only, you know, the individual things that keep the NFL in place, the sponsors, the TV deals, all this other sort of revenue they generate, but the other side of the world that is a little darker, that is involved in the strict responsibility of money, handling betting, setting lines, all these other things that you know are originated in groups of people that are not the best people on the planet. All right? Is that fair to say? They're not people that you would normally probably have over and dog sit for you on a particular weekend when you go spend a particular weekend up, you know, wherever you vacation with the family. You really don't want to know, have them know where you live. They're just not great people overall. They're business people, okay? They're business people. So that being said, you have business people that are looking at this as a business and that now can control what happens within their business I just think that there are at least, and again, this fucking word, narratives. I just think that the powers to be at least try and create a narrative to begin with, and maybe some basic construction as to how they would like things to go, without necessarily saying out, okay, the score is going to be this to this. You know what I'm saying? So there are many variables. There are many hands in the pot. I don't believe the games are fixed, okay? In a vacuum, I don't believe that. But I do believe that in today's world, that influence and power from the perspective of greed, where it generates money and lots of it, is not exclusive to anything. It's in everything that we do. It's in our sports, it's in our politics, it's in our schools, it's in our churches. It's everywhere. It's unfortunately a part of human nature and our society. And again, NFL is not void of this. Okay? They're not void of this sort of, I don't even know how to explain this.
You poor man.
So, again.
You poor leader of the deluded masses.
It's not, again, don't... If people are really listening to what I'm saying, I'm not saying it's a rigged system, and I'm not saying we lived in a rigged world.
It's just influenced?
I'm just saying that there are many opportunities and many positions in which people influence or attempt, how about this? Maybe they don't succeed, but they attempt to influence outcomes. Okay, you can't deny that. It happens in every aspect of our life. So why would the NFL be any different? Why, especially when you have smoke. Okay, because you have all these different
there's smoke, all right,
pointing and everything going in a certain direction.
I want pass that over here, by the way.
Where there is smoke, there is fire, typically. And again, we'll go to the next game.
Look, you're making me wrinkle my goatee.
Last thing, it just comes down to numbers and the whole alien things. There's been 1 billion sightings in this world. Do I believe they all to be true? No. Do I believe half of them to be true? No. A third? No. A tenth? No.
1%?
Only one of them has to be true in order to be, wow, maybe there is really something else here.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you this.
And when these start to stack on each other, you can provide a path, which I've done. It just it opens the door.
We need to get you a pegboard with a bunch of push pins and string, and that way you can, with Polaroids too.
I've seen those CSI episodes. Yeah, I'd
exactly.
be in that room. I'd be like, bing, bing, bing.
So
bing, bing.
You'll agree that the voice of the NFL is the commissioner, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He's the face.
Right. He's the arbiter of disputes. He is the levier of discipline. Yes. He is the mayor. He is the president. He is the guy in charge. He's a man in charge.
He is Pinocchio. The owners are Geppetto.
Okay, so he's the main puppet.
Okay, that's who he is.
Okay. Well, my point is
$40 million a year.
Right,
yes,
and more to your point, okay, there's 31 hands on the controls of said commissioner, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's no fucking way that any of them are going to capitulate with any bullshit like that. And that's the only way that it comes down, trickles down the pike, down, shit rolls downhill when the word comes down to that department of, sprinkling a couple of holding calls there. Just slow them down a little bit, okay? They're in bed with gambling. Gambling, not fantasy football anymore, not DFS anymore. Gambling. People are, listen, I go on my Hard Rock bets, and if I have $3,000 in my account, I can bet it. Okay, I can put $3,000 on anything. Okay, I can put 5,000, 10,000, whatever. You've seen what's his Post Malone's idiotic commercial where he's betting $25,000. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Okay, that's too much money at stake. You can't influence shit like that. It's not. It's a boondoggle. It is a coincidence. Okay, and if it happens again today, it's still a friggin' coincidence. Nobody on those referee squads, those referee crews, okay, are secret Patrick Mahomes fans. Oh, I love Patrick. He's so sweet.
I get it.
He sent me a birthday card.
I get it.
Okay, stop it. Just stop.
Listen, I agree with what you're saying.
Can we move on to the next game?
Yes.
And talk about how the referees are going to screw us there?
Yes, the game's fixed. The Chiefs win by 3.
Okay.
So, anyway, yeah.
If I see Earl Hebner, you know who Earl Hebner is?
I don't.
Famous WWE referee, Hall of Famer. He's actually still working. I think he works for NWA TNA or some shit like that. But Earl Hebner, all the classic WWE matches that you see from the 90s and early 2000s, Earl Hebner is in there. Earl Hebner and my buddy Mickey J, who, God rest his soul, was the master of talking into his elbow, or talking into his shoulder. So there's no WWE referee on the field. There's no plan. There's no script. There's no predetermined outcome.
I want to be 100% on your side, but I'm not. I'm only about 95% there. Only 95. Sorry. Too much on the other side.
It's not like it's NBA basketball or anything.
Oh, that's a total fix.
Stone Cold Steve Austin comes in with a chair, takes out LeBron.
That's why we're only 12 days away from the greatest sport of all time. Baseball. So,
on to the Eagles
Yes.
and the Commanders.
This has been my take to this point for the Eagles. You can go into stats. You can go back and forth and say what teams do well.
Oh, wait, I'm starting to feel a little hate. Go ahead.
We know the Eagles are a running team. We know Barkley has clearly been the story, and we know how valuable he's been to the Eagles' success. That being said, the other side of the coin is a story we haven't seen before, which is a rookie quarterback and the level of his play and the fact that he has the team on his back to the point where now they're playing in the NFC Championship game. Okay? Now, the line opened at, I think, 5 or 5.5. It's jumped to 6. The money is clearly coming in on the Eagles' side. Makes sense. Eagles are a better team. It's clear, right?
Well, listen, we've seen the rookie narrative in the NFC Championship game before. Saw it last year. Can you remember who? Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, but he went in hurt. He went in injured.
Yeah, he was banged up.
This kid, Daniels, is something else.
Yeah. Eventually, there's going to be a player that gets the record or rewrites the history
I think
of
we're going to see that.
the fact that you haven't had a rookie quarterback play not only at this level
today,
but advance into the Super Bowl. And this is probably one of the toughest spots that he's going to be in all year. It's clear. The familiarity of the Eagles, the fact that their defense is ranked again top 2 again this year, which is amazing considering last year they were terrible. The year before that they were great, but this year they're great.
Apologies to Vic Fangio, because at the beginning of the season, I sat here and I ranted and I said, "You ain't shit, old man. The game has passed you by. You're washed up." Well, guess what? I was wrong.
Yeah, well, it's amazing what a couple
I was very, very wrong, and I will be the first one to admit it.
It's amazing what a good couple of draft picks will do for you, though, too.
Oh, my God.
Is that Mitchell kid playing today? The rookie cornerback for the Eagles, is he playing?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
he's playing today.
But it's Jalen Carter. Oh, my God. It's the new. I can't even. He's a monster.
Both. Listen, their defense
He's
is.
Jerome Brown.
They are ranked what they are. Really, really tough spot for the Commanders. I mean, they're going to have another Herculean performance by Daniels, by some of the other guys.
Count on it.
McLaurin's been playing well, and we can go through rank the statistics. But on the Eagles side, if you want to pick at the Eagles a little bit and give the Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them, a chance.
Hail to the Commanders.
Statistically,
that doesn't sound right.
No, statistically, they really haven't had to throw the ball a lot. I think I saw a stat where I think 7 of 8 of the last games, whatever, Jalen's only had to throw for over 200 yards one time. So, game script-wise, it's clear the Eagles are going to lean on Barkley. They're going to run the football. I think if the Eagles get out in this game and you see Barkley have like 40 or 45 yards in the first quarter, where he's dashed already 2 and 3 runs of like 6 and 7 yards on first down, I don't think that's going to bode very well for Washington.
That's a control measure of
you know,
the game. That's
and that's what, in my opinion, the only real chance the Redskins have is they have to flip that narrative. They have to not necessarily control the game, but maybe offset the Eagles' ability to fully control the game. Put them into situations where they do have to maybe throw it on third down.
I'd love for you to continue calling them the Redskins, because then eventually somebody's going to hear you say the Redskins,
and then say it again
and
themselves.
then they're going to get pissed off. But you know what? That just means more people watching the show.
Perfect.
So get mad.
Yeah, go Redskins.
Get mad.
And
I'm going to watch the comments and see who's yelling about racism.
I just got done watching 1923 last night. Also, and
nice.
Some Redskins in that show. Also,
Nice.
Anyway, so back to the analysis of this game, and I am all
love Harrison Ford.
All for Redskins. The Eagles are good enough defensively where, they're going to want to create pressure, but we've seen how good Jaden Daniels is against the blitz. We've seen his ability to run the ball.
I dare you.
And I looked at some of his rushing logs for the last few weeks, and they're like 15 attempts, 12 attempts, 8 attempts, 10 attempts. I think the Eagles are good enough, though, to just, with the 4 they have up front, keep guys in those rushing lanes and then not allow Jaden to be as creative with his legs. To me, that means he's gonna have to throw the football. And again, you're creating a one-dimensional player now as a rookie. You're starting to chip away at what he's been so good at. That's clearly going to be the Eagles' game plan. And I think, unfortunately, for the Redskins, for the Commanders, for whoever we're calling them today, it's over. They're Redskins forever.
Fight for old DC.
I just think that the Commanders are going to have to do everything they possibly can right in order to stay in this game and to get within that number. And I'm going to lean on history here, and I'm going to just say that the better team, the Eagles, the better quarterback overall, maybe certainly within the system that they play, is probably still Hurts. And again, Barkley is the X factor, and if he's successful, and I don't know why he's not going to be, considering that all he has been is successful against every team they faced. It's going to be a little bit too much on the road for the Washington Commanders to handle. So I'm going to lay the points, even though I'm rooting for Washington. I'm going to lay the points in this game, and I think the Eagles can make this ugly defensively just by being who they are. They're not going to have to specifically change and create to find a way to stop Daniels. I just think they can be who they are, create matchup problems, and force him to have to play again really, really, really well, which just gets harder at this point, given everything that we've talked about. So I'll take the Eagles. I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to take the over because I do think there's going to be few punts in this game, even though it's going to be run narrative. I think, Washington gets on the other side of the field. They're not punting the football. So, 4th and 6, 4th and 4, whatever it is, they're going for it. So, a lot of possessions, more points. Give me the Eagles. Give me the over. Something like a 30-21 type game.
Well, their last matchup was 36-33. I know because I'm looking it up. Their last matchup was 36-33. Their last matchup, they couldn't stop Daniels. Could not stop him. Could not stop him. Okay, and why is that? Well, the first time they met, the narrative that you're talking about, they shut the kid down. They made him have to beat them. Still early in the season. He was kind of shocked. He wasn't shocked the second time. I'm just saying your narrative is a little antithetical to what the kid brings to the table. Okay? He adjusts. If he sees you a second time, he's going to figure out how to beat you. This is a special kid. It's a special kid. I keep telling you, he went to LSU, where he played in Death Valley, where he played in front of 100,000 screaming lunatics, where he played on the biggest stages in Birmingham, Alabama, or Tuscaloosa, in Tuscaloosa, and in Atlanta on national TV against Georgia. Okay, this is a gamer. This is a kid who he's got ice water in his veins. I think that the Washington defense will come up with enough to slow him down. I think it'll end up being a similar score, both teams in the 30s. I don't believe in that 6-point spread. I took it. I'll eat it up. Num. Give me those 6 points. Okay? And the last 2 games have told the tale. They told the tale. Their first game against the first. I'm looking through it here. Their first game. That was 44 total. First game was 26-18. Like I said, they shut the kid down. Actually, they beat the kid up. They knocked him out of the game when he came back. Okay? I remember that game. I just think we're seeing a special quarterback. I really do. I think we're seeing a Joe Burrows type of a talent, but with legs, better legs, more of a will to run, where Joe takes off and runs, out of desperation.
Joe ain't wanting to run anywhere. He don't
Joe,
need to.
Joe
Burrow is the best pocket quarterback that we've probably seen in the last
easy.
20 years.
Oh my God! I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you a Bengals number 9 jersey. I really am. You need one, fanboy.
What I wouldn't do for here. This is what I would trade. Speaking of trading for Joe Burrow, I'll bring this up. I would give him Tomlin, T.J. Watt, Harris. Probably a defensive tackle. Hayward, he's older. I love him, but he'd have to go. 3-year subscription to Field and Stream. No, I mean, I would just...
Yamir Yager, go ahead and give him Yager while you're at it.
If he wants to go play there, I'd let him go. I would get rid of everything and just start with Joe and give him a center and 2 guards, and then let's just play football, and then we'll go from there.
But back to the current game.
As I digress.
Easy. He's off on a rant, man.
Baseball's in like 11 days.
Yes, I know. Yeah. We're seeing a special player. I think there's a high likelihood that he could get the Commanders to the Super Bowl. A high likelihood. I will take that 6 points. Thank you very much. I will play that Commanders money line. Thank you very much. I will take that over. Thank you very much. I will take that being said, I will take a Jalen Hurts tush push goal line touchdown. He's got like 10 of those. 10. I know because I've hit like 6 or 7 of them.
What, the anytime Hurts touchdown?
Yeah, from the
probably
goal line.
Minus. Again, let's put my
probably like minus
minus
300.
No, it's not that high. The first thing came to mind was minus 240, but it's probably a little less than that.
Okay,
I'm going to say minus 180.
Num. Put it in a parlay. Here's some sneaky ones for you. Okay, Kenneth Gainwell. A lot of people have discounted Kenneth Gainwell and his contributions, and it shows because you see Kenneth Gainwell here. Let me see. Let me bust out one of my parlays here. Let me get my Kenneth Gainwell out of here. Here we go.
Actually, that's not too bad. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown minus 135.
Right. Okay. So here's my Eagles to win. Okay, which doesn't mean that the spread means anything, but a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, a Kenneth Gainwell, dig this, receiving yards. Okay, that's all that kid does is catch balls out of the backfield. All right, and they've got him at 0.5 yards. That's the easiest leg of anything you're going to get in the entire weekend. Believe it. Okay, to your point of the Eagles defense doing well, sure, they're going to cause Jaden Daniels to throw a pick. Okay, we've seen the kid throw 3 interceptions, 6 touchdowns, and win the friggin' game. Okay, we're talking about a kid with the will to win. Okay, short yardage touchdown, give me 36 and a half yards. They're still going to try to run with Brian Robinson. They don't care. And once again, the Jalen Hurts tush push for the touchdown. Give me the total over 47. Okay, look at, like I said, their first meeting.
47 and a half here, so you actually got a half a point.
Exactly. Okay. So, and that's for the Eagles to win. Okay. That's actually my hedge. Okay. Because when we get to let's see here, what do we got? Nope, not there. Nope, not the Bills. There we go. Commanders to win. Zach Ertz goes off. Zach catches a touchdown. Zach catches 5 or 6 balls. 4 of which will be for first downs because that's all he does is catch first downs and touchdowns. Yeah. He is a red zone favorite. That's my hedge, by the way.
And to our Wilton Manors crowd, 2 of those balls will probably be caught in the locker room.
Easy. Oh my God.
You said variety.
You go from aluminum foil hat.
We're trying to bring variety into the show.
Oh my God! I got your variety. Trying to get people banging on my door, going, "Give me that racist piece of shit."
Yeah, that's not racist.
I know.
Can I give you my 2 locks of the day?
Okay, your lock of the day.
You just want to go 2-0. Just take a bet in each game. Bet half the mortgage on this first bet, and then the other half of the mortgage on this second bet.
Let's just call it the rent.
All right, very simple. Give me, who I said earlier, the Kelsey under 70.5 yards, and in this game, Give me the A.J. Brown anytime touchdown prop at plus
Ooh,
130.
you like A.J. Brown.
Let's put those two together in a 2-game parlay, and I'm guessing that you're going to get, let's see, let's show you the odds. Anytime touchdown, A.J. Brown, plus 130. Oh, man.
Holy crap. Okay, so...
And let's go to the KC game.
Everybody open your Hard Rock Bets app.
Well, we have out-of-towners. They don't have Hard Rock. They have some other
Well, whatever
app.
app.
And Kelsey receiving yards.
So we got Kelsey receiving yards under.
It's over right here. You're getting
70.5 under.
You're
Okay,
getting
we'll take that.
plus 330 on that bet, folks. Kelsey under 7.5 yards. A.J. Brown, pay dirt,
A.J.
plus
Brown.
330.
So you say anytime touchdown?
Yep. Plus 330.
130.
Yep. All right.
And that's it? Those are the only two?
It's a parlay, 2-leg. You want to win? Plus 330, half a mortgage, plus 330. That's 3 mortgages. That's a lot of mortgages.
4.3. It's only 4.3 to 1. It's only 4 to 1 odds.
It's only 2 bets. It's a 2-leg parlay. What do you want? 10 to 1 on a 2-leg parlay?
I like 3 to 1.
Bet the fact that when one of the guys gets tackled, his pants comes down. I don't know. Figure something out. But no, I just told you, if you want to make money today, bet this parlay. That's all. Just bet a parlay. Now I know
I'm going to put $25 on it.
It's a win. It's $100.
107.50.
I want the 750. That's my
All
big.
right.
That's my big.
All right.
Who are you taking in this game? Commanders and the Eagles. 6 points. I think you said Commanders because you think Jaden gets.
I like Commanders plus 6 all day long. If the Eagles do win, once again, it's going to be by a last-minute field goal. Both of these games are going to come down to the kickers.
Okay.
Both of them. I'm even going to go do all
I
4
know
kickers.
You are.
All 4
I know
kickers.
You are.
Okay,
You
so
and
let
your
me ask you a
kicker
question
props.
because I know you hate this, so I love doing what you hate.
I hate kickers.
Okay, all 4 kickers. Can you even name all 4 kickers? I know you know Harrison Butker.
Yeah, that's the easy one. The Eagles have what's his name who just sucks this year all of a sudden.
Excuse me.
Why can't I think of his name?
That's not his name.
No, why can't I think of the Eagles kicker's name?
You want me to go ahead? I will. I'm gonna put the camera on you, and we're gonna play some Jeopardy music, and we're gonna go. Really? You don't know?
All right.
Okay,
The Buffalo kicker is Tyler Bass.
right.
And Harrison
you-
Butker. I've got that game.
Okay.
Why can't I think of the Eagles kicker?
The Eagles kicker, Jake Elliott.
Jake Elliott.
The hard one is the Washington kicker, the Commanders kicker. Nobody knows who the hell that is.
I have no idea.
Zane Gonzalez.
Yes.
They started off the year with a really good kicker.
I think he was a shortstop for the Royals at one point.
Yeah, at least.
No, it's a different Gonzalez.
It's a
Yeah.
different Gonzalez.
All right, so that's great. So where are we going with this kicker stuff? Are you going to...
Okay, so
Oh, gross.
the 4 kicker parlay. Okay, so the over-unders are 1.5. Of course, they're set at 1.5.
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
Which is silly.
Well, both of them with the Philadelphia and Washington game. They're both at 1.5. Do they go over or they go under?
Well, think about it realistically. You think you're going to see 8 made field goals today? I don't. When
Okay.
half the field goals this
So-
time of year get missed,
Okay.
and the other half don't get
So
attempted,
who's going to kick 1 field goal and who's going to kick no field goals?
go under with the Commanders kicker because
Under?
we just decided we don't even know who the hell he is.
Okay, Zane Gonzalez.
Yeah, and like I said, if the Commanders are playing from behind, they're not going to be punting. And if they get across midfield, the way he plays offense, Quinn, and everything else, taking
They're
chances.
just going to be going for it. They're like one of the leaders in going for it in
Yeah,
the NFL.
they're only kicking a field goal.
So what about Jake Elliott, though?
He hasn't made 2 all year. I think he's been terrible
So
this
we'll
year.
go under. I'm not against under.
All right.
1 field goal is under.
Do you want to just F the kickers all day and go under on every one of them?
Okay.
Be like F the kickers. Wind, although there's no wind. We need like something to happen.
So you want to F the kickers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, give me 1 over. So go 3 and 1.
Well then if you want an over,
Probably the Bills.
wow, yeah, Bass has got a plus 115. So you want a Bass with two field goals?
Maybe they get tough getting some in the red zone.
Butker is the guy who's a huge playoff guy too.
Chiefs play tough defense. That game goes 13-10 halftime. That's a lot of field goals. It's like 3 field goals.
Okay, so under for Butker,
Over for Bass.
over for Bass. Oh, those are pretty good friggin' odds. Look at this.
Was that 4 legs?
10.6.
I was going to say about 10-1.
Oh.
Yeah, no chance. So, all right, back to the game. So
let's throw $20 on that.
Let's.
See, now you have a kicker parlay. Good for you.
Great. That's awesome.
It's baby steps, folks. You have to lead into it.
That's awesome.
You really do.
Where are we at for next week? Are we going to try and get all 4 faces on the same screen somehow?
We're going to try like hell.
All right, let's try.
I'll say that.
Let's try and do that.
It will be a genuine effort. I think the big question right now is, do we just want to end it here? Do we want to call it a day and go and do our degenerate gambling? Or do we want to take a quick break and come back and bitch about the coaching carousel?
I say we wrap it up.
Just get all our bitching out? No?
Let's wrap it up.
All right, fine then. I prepared all of this great stuff, but we sat here and jibber-jabbered for an hour.
Good stuff, though.
Yeah, well, that's because we both disagree on how the games are going to turn out. And there's going to be a whole lot of shit talking come time. So,
by the way, Mike, real quick, chimed in. Any touchdown today? Noah Gray.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I told you that Taylor Rapp is out. Taylor Rapp is the linchpin of that Buffalo defense.
Anti-Kelsey narrative.
Okay,
Take
sure.
it. Love it.
That's why I have Kelsey
Love
anytime
it.
touchdown.
I love it.
That and Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I love Noah Gray today.
Okay, Joel Gray, not Mel.
Noah. Noah Gray.
Oh, okay.
What'd you call him? Joel?
Mel?
Who the hell is
Joel?
Mel Gray?
Steve?
Didn't he do the voices for Bugs
Mel
Bunny?
Gray is
that was Mel Blunt.
No, yeah.
Never mind.
There you
Sorry.
go. Okay, so then fine. Then let's pack it up. On behalf of myself and Damaz, say goodbye to the nice people.
See you later.
We'll see you guys next week when we do a Super Bowl preview, when we have all of the principals in line and Super Bowl player props, Super Bowl game props. We're going to talk about those. And then we'll come back on Super Bowl Sunday and have a Super Bowl Sunday extravaganza.
Yeah. If we can get all 4 of us idiots on the same screen.
We may even drag the guru's guru in here on top of that.
We can do a nice 2-hour extravaganza.
Well, we'll see how many faces I can get on the screen at the same time.
We'll
It's
be
pretty
prepared.
nutty.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, well, say goodbye to the nice people.
I think I did already.
Oh, okay. Well,
Bye, nice people.
Goodbye, nice people. Well,
They're not that nice to say twice.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. They're all right. They put up with our crap. We'll see you guys next week at 11 a.m. here on the Gonzo Radio Network. Peace out.